for introduction about section 3A, the hire purchase agreement includes a letter of good wish and option to purchase, an agreement for the purchase of good by installment. This is agreement describe that installment as rent or hire or otherwise, but there's not any agreement that whereby the property in the goods comprised therein passes at the time of the agreement of open or at any time before delivery of the goods, under which the person by the whom goods are being hired or purchased is a person who is engaged in the trade or business of selling goods of the same nature of description as the good comprised in the agreement.
Okay, so now I will elaborate on question 3A, application of law. Hire purchase is one of the most usually models of financing for obtaining various assets. It helps by spreading the huge cost of an asset over a longer period of time. Under the Hire Purchase Act 1967, a valid hire purchase agreement can be formed through the following formalities, which are offer and acceptance, written agreement, disclosure of information, cooling off period, payment of deposit, delivery of goods, payment of installments, and ownership transfer. The written statements mentioned in subsection 1 must be given in person to the person who wants to rent the property or his agent, who must sign under his hand in the relevant column to show that he received them. Any person who has been given the written statement or statements mentioned in subsection 1 is not required to sign a hire purchase agreement, and he does not have to pay any money or do anything else in exchange for the preparation or service of the statement.
Next, the owner must disclose certain key information to the hirer before the agreement is signed. This includes the total price of the goods, the cash price if the price is paid in the full amount of the payment, and amount of installments. If any person discloses to any other person information obtained by him in pursuance of this act, he shall be guilty of an offence unless his disclosure was made in or for the purpose of the performance of functions under this. Besides that, the hirer must be given a cooling off period, usually 14 days, during which they can reconsider the agreement and cancel it without penalty. Once the agreement is signed and the deposit is paid, the owner is responsible for delivering the goods to the hirer within the agreed time frame and in the specified condition. The hirer is obligated to make regular installment payments as per the agreement. These installments usually consist of both principal and interest amounts and must be paid on time as are specified in the agreement. Ownership of the goods remains with the owner until the hirer completes all the installment payments. So, it's important for Hafiz to truthfully understand the terms and conditions of the hire purchase agreement before entering it. Seeking legal advice or consulting with a financial professional is advisable to ensure he is fully aware of his rights and obligations under the agreement. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hire purchase is an important source of financing in recent times. It provides a convenient way to afford and acquire assets that otherwise are financially unattainable. Thus, hiring purchase also helps a nation's economy to grow further. However, before entering an agreement, one should clearly understand the costs involved and the disclosure that has been provided. There are various other like term loan and installment purchase which look similar, but there is a difference between hire purchase and also term loan, and there is difference between hire purchase and installment purchase.
Next, introduction to 3B. The implied condition that the good be of merchantable quality as specified in section 16(1)(b) of the Sale of Goods Act of 1957. This assumes goods bought by description from a seller who sell goods of the description must be of good enough quality to be sold that whatever he is a manufacturer or producer. Next, when items are sold by using seller trademark or trade name, they should to have accountable for any implicit warranties that the good did not meet. Next, there are two exceptions to the norm. Customer has looked at the product that should be implied condition about the fact that a good should have shown. If an examination or inspection was done but no problem found, merchantable quality condition implied condition will be applied. This rule does not apply to Udin if the buyer doesn't trust the seller's skill and judgment, or if it would be unfair to do so. The good merchantable quality is found in section 16(1)(b). Section 16(1)(b) is state that there is an implied need that the good that's supplied must be merchantable quality when commodities are sold during a business.
So the application of law for question 3B is, in the case of Udin, it should be assumed that restoran Nenek Kebayan's goods are suitable for human consumption. This is only true if Udin has looked at the goods. If he has, there is no implied condition about flaws that the inspection should have shown. If Udin has looked at the goods but found no flaws, the implied condition of merchantable quality applies. However, there was a breach of contract when Udin contracted food poisoning. This means that restoran Nenek Kebayan's nasi lemak is unfit for ingestion, is not of marketable quality, and failed to serve its intended purpose. Not only did it fail, but it also had several consequences. This indicates that Udin will likely prevail. Due to the Sale of Goods Act of 1957, it is evident that not only retailers but also consumers are protected by this act. And in Udin's case, the Sale of Goods Act has given him peace of mind where doubt would otherwise exist. Under the Sale of Goods Act of 1957, Udin has certain rights if he got sick after eating nasi lemak from restoran Nenek Kebayan and then went to the hospital. Here is a summary of Udin's legal rights. Then, implied conditions of marketability. When Udin bought the nasi lemak, it was assumed that the food was of marketable quality, which means it was likely safe to eat. If the nasi lemak was dirty or not fit to eat, Udin could say that it broke the unstated condition of being able to be sold. The implied condition of fitness for a specific purpose. If Udin told the seller that he needed the nasi lemak for a specific purpose, like being free of harmful substances, and the seller told him that it would work, then the nasi lemak should have been fit for that purpose. If Udin can show that the nasi lemak was not fit for the stated purpose and cause food poisoning, he may have a case based on the unstated condition that the food is fit for the stated purpose.
Udin the right to sue for damage if the seller broke the contract and caused him to lose money and get hurt. This include the cost of medical care, the hospital bill, and any other damage connected to the accidents. Udin would have to show that he got sick because of the nasi lemak he ate at the restaurant Nenek Kebayan. Udin also has a duty to reduce the damage caused by food poisoning. After that, this means that he should take reasonable steps to lessen the damage and getting the right medical care right away and doing what the doctor tell him to do. Udin should try to find proof to back up his claim, like a doctor's note or a statement from a person who has also eaten nasi lemak and gotten sick from it. Udin might want to talk to a lawyer to learn more about his right and figure out the best way to go about getting his claim for the losses paid.